All right, welcome back, everybody. The Bros watch The Mandalorian. This is episode 6 for us. This is season 2, episode 6,
Chapter,
chapter 14.
yeah,
The
the tragedy.
the
The
tragedy.
tragedy.
I just read the
Oh,
name. It slipped my mind.
I knew it was coming when they gave it that title.
It's about damn time we got some Jedi mysticism force stuff. Loved
Yeah,
it. I think this was probably my favorite episode of the entire show. This was so badass and awesome. I loved it. And quick shout out, Robert Rodriguez directing this. Phenomenal job. And once I saw that he directed it, it kind of made sense because the action scenes were great.
yeah, yeah. Totally agree. We have. It feels like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are just slowly patching and working everything into like the full Star Wars universe, and by that I
Absolutely.
mean we finally get to see why Boba Fett's such a damn good bounty hunter. Like
Yeah. Oh, James, you froze. But we'll keep going. Yeah, Boba Fett was awesome.
he didn't do anything.
Uh, Oh, I have no idea what just happened. Your sound just went 7 times speed there. But we'll power through it. I don't
Yeah,
know what happened there. Um,
some Discord
oh,
buffering.
yeah. Well, you're quite a bit behind me, but we'll get through it together, folks. We'll get through this together.
All
Um,
right.
anyways, Boba Fett was indeed awesome, badass. Trying to get his armor left, which we find out was he was left on Tatooine. That's how I can't remember his name now, but Oliphant's character. That's how he got a hold of it.
A
Um,
Marshall. I can't remember his
was
name.
yeah, it was when Boba Fett was left for dead in the pit. I want to know how he got out of the pit, and
We're
we'll
never
get to
going to
that.
find that out. You just have to
No, 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 no,
accept
no,
it.
no,
We're
no, no,
never
no.
going to find that out.
We will get an answer because, as we're going to discuss a little later, he teams up with Mando now. But anyways, so we get great little moment there at the beginning of the show to open up.
You get
Baby Yoda
slave
playing
one
with his
win.
he's
I was
playing
so
with
hyped up when I saw
his
that.
he's playing with his favorite silver ball,
Yeah,
and he responds to the name Grogu.
yeah, he does.
Din calls him Grogu, and he responds twice. He force pulls the ball out of his hand, freaks out Mando. Dink Ferret.
Yeah.
I mean, uh,
And my favorite part of that is like before this was like a burden to him, but now he's a dad. He is
yeah, no,
100%. He's
absolutely.
like laughing every time he
Yeah.
responds to
Yeah,
Grogu and stuff. Like,
yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. And so we get to Tython. I didn't know how quickly we were gonna get to Tython, but we get to Tython
immediately.
right away. And he gets there and he kind of puts Grogu on the thing, and you know, just kind of like, hey kid, you're supposed to do something. What are you doing?
Eventually, Grogu was just like, "Damn, that's all you had to say." Whoa.
Yeah. Let me make this work now.
Yeah.
Jedi blue tube activate.
He's like, "Hold
Um,
on, let me rub my tiny hands together. I got this."
yeah. Also, while I'm thinking about it, shout out to New Mexico Pinon Coffee. No free ads here, but this stuff is badass. So they got a lot of great flavors. I think we've got the half biscotti, half chili pepper one coming. We're gonna try that one.
Oh, that's good. Nice.
Anyway,
So the next thing,
no free ads.
yeah, the next thing that happens is you get Slave One coming in, and I lost it. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh my god, it's happening! It's
yeah.
happening!"
It's Boba ship. It's Boba ship.
Just like the way they had that framed, where it was like kind of in the distance in the sky. That was great. I loved it.
Oh, it was fantastic. And he doesn't attack him right away. You know he can see him, but he doesn't attack him right away. Because really, he just wants his armor back. It was his dad's. His dad's was a
Yeah.
foundling. We find out later in the episode his dad was a foundling,
Yep.
like Mando is. And so,
Which makes sense. It was unexpected, but it makes sense.
right, makes a lot of sense. And we do see the scars from, I'm assuming what are the scars from the pit,
Yeah.
as he escaped. So he's all chewed up on the face. And we get Ming Na Wen. I gotta look at her. Fennec Shan.
Fennec.
Ming Na,
Yeah.
Ming Na Wen. Love her, by the way. Agent May, she will always be.
Yep.
And
She was very much Agent May in this episode.
absolutely was.
Just a badass.
Then we get ship number 1 of stormtroopers shows up, and they come at him. We get Fennec up on the rocks picking people off. They start the machine gun up. really cool, and I like this little tie-in with the rock rolling down the hill towards the machine gun. Very Indiana Jones-esque. Nice little tie-in for George and Spielberg during this episode.
Yeah. So we see with all this that stormtroopers are still idiots. They're still really terrible at their job. Like, they're charging up a hill at a sniper, which is probably the worst thing that you could do. When they don't have to reload, she's just like literally picking off.
Didn't you learn from Anakin that once you give up the high ground, it's kind of over, man?
You need the high ground.
Yeah. But so we get just a bunch of badass fighting, and Boba is taking people out with a staff left and right, smashing stormtroopers.
That staff looked great. I don't even know what the thing's supposed to be, but it looks fantastic.
I don't know. It had a hook and a weight on the end of it. It was.
After he gets done breaking the stormtrooper armor, he sees the ship and he's like, "Oh!" You see his eyes light up, even though he's like scowling the whole time.
Yeah. He knows what's in. He knows what's in.
Yeah.
And he knew. So then we get ship number 2 comes in with more stormtroopers. And our heroes are kind of on their tails a little bit, Fennec and Din are kind of cornered, and Beskar's taking shots left and right. I love the fact that he can just take shots.
Yeah,
shots
he's like, I got this.
Yeah.
He was a human shield there.
And then we get Boba in his armor, full Boba Fett effect, massacring everybody.
Yeah, they even showed the knee darts, Tim. They brought out the knee darts.
I know. That might have been the sickest 2 minutes in all of Star Wars when Boba Fett drops in and starts wiping out stormtroopers.
Yeah, that got me so hyped up.
I was so jacked up.
I love the way that even before he put his armor on, when he was just literally smashing their armor to pieces, looked so good. Every time something broke, it looked fantastic.
Dude,
you could really feel the impact.
And again, shout out to Robert Rodriguez, because this episode looked so good. It looked so good. Even with Grogu sitting on the temple, that looked so good. It just this was. I mean, like I said, this is my favorite episode of the show so far. And so we wipe all those stormtroopers. Moff Gideon sends in our first look at the Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
Some kind of heavy duty cyborg type droid thing, I guess, and obviously not human.
Yeah.
But super tank mode, they can fly very fast. And this is where the tragedy kicks in. They swipe in, and they swoop in and and grab up Grogu.
Yeah. I wanted to back up for a little bit because we missed something very important, which is all those repairs to the Razor Crest mean nothing now.
Yeah.
It's a burning crater.
The Razor Crest is absolutely gone.
It's no more. I mean, he's repaired that thing 5 or 6 times already in the show. It's gone. It's not repairable.
Moff Gideon sky sniped him from the clouds, and Razor Crest is bye. And so, so Boba takes off after he gets to his ship, because Mando, for whatever reason, when they were laying down their weapons early in the episode, takes his jetpack off. Dude, leave the jetpack on. What are we doing here? You're the Mandalorian. It hasn't been off of your back the entire show.
So, not only that, but he has remote control of that thing. We've seen him use the remote control, so just fly it back to you.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there, but Mando completely just mind wiped himself. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So Boba takes off, chasing the Dark Troopers through the clouds, gets above the clouds and says, "Oh no, they're back."
Yeah.
What do you mean they're back? The Empire's back, which we knew, but this is really the first time that someone has really kind of said the Empire never went anywhere.
Yeah, we're seeing that building of things, of basically the First Order, and I hope that they dig into just how the Empire comes back, because they mentioned that the New Republic's under control of the Outer Rim. So where can the Empire go? Where are they building everything?
Well, so I mean, I think if you look at it this way, this has only been, I think it's either 6 or 8 years after Return of the Jedi. So,
6, I think.
6 years. So all they really did in Return is blow up the big base.
Yeah.
The Empire still has all the other places.
is still around.
Right. So it's not like, it's like if the general gets killed, there's someone else who can become general in a line of succession. Right?
Yeah,
You don't just have a military operation without as big as the clones were, without having, a hierarchy in effect. And that's kind of where Moff Gideon comes in, I would imagine.
yeah, totally agree. We
So
don't know if he's like the highest up right now, but
he's up there.
he
He's
definitely,
up there.
yeah, he definitely seems like he's up there.
He's definitely in charge of their science department because
Yeah,
that's the whole reason he's been chasing after Grogu is they got some kind of don't. And at the end, he calls him donor. Tells his chief scientist like, "Hey, we've got the donor. Get ready." Speaking of, when they finally get on Moff Gideon's, in, I guess what are we calling it at this point? Imperial
cruiser,
Or what,
Imperial cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we get an awesome scene where he goes into like I guess interrogate Grogu,
Grogu.
and Grogu is jacking these fools up with the Force. He even puts the Force choke on him. I was like, oh, is he gonna like maybe turn dark here and choke these fools out? But he just knocks them together and knocks them out.
Yeah, he was doing some very dark things there. Like again, we know he's had some training. We know that he's been through some dark things in his past. Yeah, he was like, I'm just not having it. Not today, guys.
Right.
My favorite part of this scene is after Moff Gideon, he sees like, yeah, oh, it makes you very sleepy. He sees that and then he goes, put it in shackles. And I was like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna put on him? He's got the tiniest hand.
But they did. They found little ones.
They put the tiny handcuffs on him.
Yeah. No, and it was awesome because Moff Gideon busts out the Darksaber, and he says to Grogu like, "Hey, you probably haven't seen one of these in a long time, huh?"
Yeah, and Grogu almost
And
touches him.
he tries to grab it. He tries to force grab it. But
Yeah.
He's too tired. Little baby Grogu, baby Yoda.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing you don't want to give a child is like a dangerous weapon, like because what's he gonna do with it? We don't know.
And so then to kind of wrap up the episode, we get Mando goes to Kara for help, looking up someone, and as soon as he said he's on a thing, I was like, Bill Burr's coming back. Bill Burr's coming back. Bill Burr's back. Bill Burr's coming back next week. Come on.
So here's the thing. I think we're gonna see some massive team up action. Like, look at all the people that he has to choose from now.
Right,
he's got
right.
he's got Cara Dune, he's got possibly Ahsoka, even though she probably isn't gonna be involved for a little bit. You've got Bill Burr, you've got Fennec, Boba Fett. Like he's got a heist team essentially.
So it seems like Kara is maybe opting out because they did kind of make her the New Republic deputized her.
Yeah, she did say so. Like those stripes mean something.
So she may not necessarily team up right away, but can maybe help like give info and things like that, as she did. And then he kind of drops in there real quick that he needs Bill Burr because he's the one who can find Gideon's cruiser at warp speed, at hyperspeed.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's one of his skill sets that maybe we didn't necessarily get to see before. But I mean, if they're gonna give me a hyperspeed track down, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be interesting. There was it reminded me of Battlestar Galactica, the start of the series essentially after they make it onto like the fleet and start moving away, is the Cylons tracking them. And they would like move somewhere and like 30 minutes later the Cylons would show up. And that's just kind of something that it reminded me of, is maybe they'll end up having an episode where they just essentially track them and it's like a race against time.
Yeah, and we got that in the what was the last Star Trek film where they build that the bigger Enterprise looking thing and they track them to warp speed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I digress. I'm a Wars guy. I'm not a Trek guy. So anyway, I think that wraps us up for now.
It does.
I mean, obviously we're getting massive team up for the last 2 episodes, and Grogu completed his Jedi deal. He completed it. So whatever he was doing, if there's some Jedi out there, we're getting at least one Jedi. We're getting at least one new Jedi.
Question: do you think it will be Mark Hamill and Luke?
So here's the deal. It started as a fan rumor
Uh-huh.
But I've seen online a lot of rumors saying that as long as Mark Hamill approves, they may bring Sebastian Stan in to play younger Luke.
That would be great.
And it literally started as a fan rumor, like somebody just like photoshopped like Sebastian Stan as Mark
Well,
Hamill, and
he
dude,
looks
like
like young Mark Hamill.
he absolutely looks like him, and
Yeah.
I think everybody's on board, but they're going to Mark Hamill for approval. Like, hey, is it cool if this dude plays younger Luke? And I'm gonna guess he's gonna say yes because I think at this point, they really pissed him off with the entire sequels trilogy, and
Yeah.
so and he was very outspoken about it and tried to walk it back after, but like, oh, we know you're pissed
I've
off.
seen I've seen some tweets from him where he was
Yeah,
definitely not approving.
yeah. And so, I think I would imagine that he would be like, yeah, you can go ahead and do that as long as you do it awesome.
Yeah.
Which
Because
I don't.
what if this is like we could easily see like the first class of recruits of him
Right.
train Jedi.
So if they're gonna keep that in canon and not try to retcon the sequels, this is where we find out this is okay. He started training new Jedi, and Grogu could be the first. And honestly, that makes me all tingly all over with that possibility because that would be so sick if we got that.
Positively brimming with the force.
But anyways, that wraps us up for now. Hopefully, we jammed a lot into a quick segment here. So, hopefully, if you like us, like, rate, and subscribe. Leave us some comments. Leave us some questions, things you want to get to. Quick note from last episode: we just got too caught up in everything else. We didn't get it, but Admiral Thrawn or Vice Admiral, Great Admiral Thrawn, whatever he is, Grand Admiral Thrawn, he's coming. We didn't get too in depth to that because I haven't really watched Rebels, so.
Yeah.
I'm about a third of the way through my rewatch of Clone Wars now, so obviously he's gonna show up because Ahsoka's looking for him. So
Yeah.
that's for sure probably like middle of season 3.
I'm midway through season 3 and I haven't seen him yet, so we'll see.
I'm talking about Mandalorian like next year.
Oh,
If
yeah,
he shows up,
gotcha.
it's not gonna be until middle to end of season 3, I would imagine. So, anyways, we're good for now, bro. Thanks for joining me. Check us out on the Sipping Around channel on YouTube. Like, rate, and subscribe. Share with your friends. Tweet it out in the universe. Give us some more followers. And, for anybody who watches this and actually enjoys it, we'd like to, start an ongoing dialogue. So leave us some comments on the video. And, before I get going, our next show up that we're going to be reviewing, and I'm going to let James take the reins on this one mostly, we're going to do The Expanse, the new season of The Expanse. So... that'll be coming up in a few weeks when they drop that first episode. So be looking out for that too. Thanks for joining us. This has been the Bros Watch The Mandalorian, and we will see everybody next week.